actually having the agenda about today's what we are going to discuss about the advanced database management system. But before we move ahead with the agenda and we discuss about the agenda, I can actually, uh, we can discuss over the questions and answers, whatever coming into the chat window at the later point of the time when the Q&A session is going to begin. Fine. So before that particular thing, let me move ahead with the agenda, what we are going to share right now, or what we are going to discuss today. Is the introduction to relational database management system. So this is the the basic tagline you can say for this particular session. The applications of RDBMS, the leading solution providers for the RDBMS, current trends into the RDBMS, and the job roles. So this is the major agenda what we are actually trying to cover into this particular 1 hour session. So moving ahead with the agenda for the introduction to the relational database management system. So initially you need to understand what do you mean by the term relational. Relational means it's not a kind of that you are going to relate one particular entity or one particular table to the other table. When you say the relational database or when you say the term relational, the relational is meant to take care about that how two entities are sharing their properties. So when you say the set theory of the mathematics, you must have learned into your graduation or into your 11th or 12th. So that particular set theory of the mathematics always say that all the elements in a one particular set is related to itself as well as for all the other elements of the same sets. So from the reason behind this particular thing is that when we are saying the term relation and when those elements are sharing the properties, so those properties are going to take a part of a one particular set, or those properties are going to be with some of the elements, and those elements are going to belong to one particular set, and this set is named as a relational set. Fine. So when you say the term relational database management system, this particular term has come into the relational comes into the picture the way the set theory is moving ahead. In a one particular, once again I am repeating, in a one particular set, all the elements of the same sets are related to themselves as well as with all the other elements of the same set. So that's how the term relational comes into the picture. And when two sets are going to perform some kind of operation, when you say the joins, when you say the subqueries, when you say the unions, so that particular, those many of operations, the intersection is a kind of operation which takes care about the what we can say is a joining of the two sets together. So that's why we say it is a term, the join comes into the picture. So this is the agenda. So what is a relational? The word relational is inherited by the set theory of mathematics, in which each element is related to itself as well as with all the other elements of the same set. Why? Because all the other elements as well as the, you can say the each and every element is going to share the some amount of the properties with the other elements as well. So that's why all the elements belongs to the same sets. Now, when you comes to the or when you map the set theory to the relational database management system, where you can say a single table is there. So when you are mapping a single entity or a single set to a relational model, so it becomes an entity. So into the you can say into your graduation, or you must have studied about the term ER modeling. So when we say the ER modeling, so ER modeling is nothing but the way two entities are going to communicate with each other. So when you say the two entities are going to communicate with each other, that means they can communicate via one-to-one or one-to-many relationship or many-to-many relationship. sometimes the entity is going to join itself as well. That entity is related to itself as well. So this is a concept of your set theory. So set theory is really important to understand. The reason is the way you are going to write the join queries, the way you are going to write the simple queries or the complex queries as well. I have seen many of the students, you are actually, the getting confused in the joins or in the different kind of joins or in the specifically in the self join, you can say. So when you say the self join is a kind of concept which has come into the picture when you say the element of a same set is related to itself. So when you say related to itself, that means you are taking care about that, the set theory, where the elements of the set is related to itself. So that is the major reason why you are taking care about the set theory while discussion about the relational database management system. Now, so this is the first, the first two points what I can see or what you can see from my screen, introduction to relational database management system. The third point, when you say the understanding the applications of normalization and ER diagram in the RDBMS. If you ask me that what is the need of the ER diagram in the RDBMS, there is no need of the ER diagram in the RDBMS because the ER diagram is going to take care about the concept of software engineering, where you can say how two entities are related to each other, right? Or how two entities are going to communicate with each other. So what is the point in discussion of the ER diagram in the RDBMS? We are discussing the ER diagram in the RDBMS. The only reason is because we would like to, see that how many, how really the data is going to combine, data of one entity is going to be combined with the data of other entity. See, when you take care about the database, you need to see that ultimately you are dealing with the data. So when you are going to deal with the data, that particular time you need to understand that you, as a database developer or as a database administrator, the first thing you need to take care about the data integrity as well as the data consistency and the durability. So data integrity means no one can change your data. So as a database developer or as a database administrator, how you take care about the database integrity, it is a primary job role for you. So when you say the ER diagram, so ER diagram gives you the glimpse of how really two entities are going to communicate or going to combine the data. That is the major objective, and because of that particular objective only, the ER diagram is combined into the what you can say, or ER diagram is getting discussed into the RDBMS. Now, for the third point as well, if you move ahead with the normalization, so again, you must have learned that first normal form, second normal form, third normal form. When you go to the interview or when you go to the, the higher studies, where no one is going to ask you about what is the first normal form, define it, what is the second normal form, or what is the third normal form. No. Our objective is to take care about what you are trying to achieve after the normalization. After the normalization, you are trying to see that how can you identify a one particular record by means of a single column or single attribute. And that particular single attribute is a primary key. Think about it, that in the first normal form, you have introduced the primary key. In the second normal form, you must have seen, okay, the whatever the functional dependency you have, partial functional dependency you have removed. And into the third normal form, then you have checked that, okay, how I can remove the transitive dependency. So ultimately, you must have noticed this particular thing, that in the first normal form, in the second normal form, and in the third normal form, your objective is to make the primary key stronger and stronger. That is the only objective what you are having, so that you can get each and every record of that particular entity by means of the single attribute. That's what the primary key is, right? So that is when you take care about. So anyone can ask you, okay, what you have studied into the RDBMS? The basic understanding what you need to understand is that we are not normalizing the tables. We are normalizing the data. Why we are normalizing the data? We are normalizing the data so that the data can be consistent. Data follows the integrity rule. Data can be identified by only one key, and there is no loss of data. So these things you need to understand. Okay. And when you take care about the use cases of RDBMS, so use cases of RDBMS, so that means where the RDBMSs are getting used to. For every part of the application, I have seen the different kind of student projects as well in the long career. Generally, the students are going to perform, okay, you have, created the table per form. Okay, so you must have developed some kind of projects, and those are some kind of websites, and into each website, the form is getting displayed. And according to each form, you have created the table. So it's a wrong practice. So what you need to understand that how really two entities communicate with each other. And according to that only you need to take care about your problems or your tables, you can say, because each entity is going to be directly mapped to the table. That you need to understand. Okay, so based on this particular thing, you can say, so there are the different kind of database providers are there. So you must have studied the EF chord rules, and please make sure about understanding those EF chord rules are really important to understand the concept of database. In the slide, it is not being covered, the EF chord rules. You can say EF chord rules are available onto the Google. You can just search for it. So that particular person has suggested a very different way that when you can call this particular software as a database. This is a software which can be terminologized as a database if and only if the certain rules are going to be followed. And that particular, those many of the certain rules are going to take care about your consistency, the integrity, the atomicity, security, the availability. So please make sure you need not to bother about what those each and every rules are saying. You need to bother about my whole and sole purpose is that I need to save the data. When my whole and sole purpose is that I need to save the data, then what are the various ways by which the data can be consistent as well as is going to follow the integrity rule? The first thing is data row. Row is nothing but the set of all the columns, you can say. The row should not contain, or row should contain less number of nulls. When the row should contain the less number of nulls, why it is required? The reason behind that particular thing is because nulls are always going to be the part of the traversal where the database is going to traverse. Like for example, you are saying select star from a one particular table. When you say the select star from one particular table, so how that select star is going to traverse row by row? It has to traverse row by row, and if the null is going to be the part of that row, it is going to be there, right? The other thing is how really the security is going to be maintained, how really the integrity is going to be maintained. So Oracle is the only, you can say, the database which follows more than 11 rules of EF core. You can say like this. The REST2 database, what you can see from my screen, the MongoDB and the CouchDB is the RDBMS. The MongoDB is a document-oriented database to handle the big data applications. Fine. So in the SQL, you must have studied. So there are two things into the relational database management system. The way you are going to retrieve the data. You are going to retrieve the data by means of structured query language, or you can say the SQL. The other thing is that you are going to retrieve the data by means of some kind of doing the programming. Database doesn't meant to take care about the programming. But because of the, the database to deal with the programming, database has to depend on the other programming language. So for that particular thing, Oracle has developed the PL SQL. SQL Server has developed the T-SQL. So there are the different languages, the PL SQL, the T-SQL, which actually takes care about the database programming. Now, why do you require the database programming? Suppose now, if you are working as a data warehouse developer, fine, where your job is to develop, or you can say push the data into the warehouse. So I cannot write the single select statement one by one. What I need to take care about? I need to program it. I need to write a script. I need to write a program. And that particular program is going to run automatically to, to push my entire 1,000 records, 10,000 records, 20,000 records into the database, which cannot be done by means of the SQL. So that's why the, the typical programming is required. The second thing is the design of database. Which kind of modeling would you like to perform? For example, if you are taking care about the transaction-oriented systems. So for the transaction-oriented system, the normalizations are really going to do good, as well as the ER diagrams are really going to go for good. But when you say it's a OLAP or a data warehouse, the ER diagram is not going to, give them the advantage. The reason is because the ER diagram is meant for transaction-oriented system. Fine. You are not going to take care about the query-oriented system. Now, these are the two things when you say the transaction-oriented and when you say the query-oriented. Transactions-oriented are, that means you are writing only the insert, update, delete. And just to take care about the database consistency, just to take care about the database integrity, just to take care about less loss of data, you are normalizing the data. Okay, you do not bother about how much time the query is going to take. Query is going to take huge time. But when you say the data warehouse, the queries, you cannot afford to have normalization. Because to process a query, it has to go for 10 different tables or 20 different tables, which is going to reduce the performance. So this is what the normalization is. Normalization is really required for the transaction-oriented system, but not into the data warehouse. Then there is a SQL, what we are going to discuss about writing the simple query, the joins, the subqueries, and how really I can do the database programming by retrieving the bulk of data, by retrieving the, what you can say, the, the different amount of data through programming is what the PL SQL. So in the PL SQL, we will take care about the cursors, the exceptions, the packages, and you must have learned the packages and the procedures also into the Python or as well as into the Java as well. So they're exactly the same thing, but here we are going to discuss about in the PL SQL. Okay. So moving ahead to take care about the the database or the data related inside the database, you needed to take care about the security of the data. How data is or how the database is maintaining the integrity of the entire data. So it follows the ACID properties, and I believe you must be aware of the ACID property: the atomicity, consistency, isolation, and the durability. So how really the transactions? So if, for example, let me say that if okay, you do have the account in the bank, and it's a joint account. Now let's talk about it. And if it is a joint account, so in that particular sense, you need to make sure that okay, that if one joinee is crediting the some of the amount in the bank, and one account is debiting some of the amount in the bank, those transactions, or at the same time you can say those transactions must run in isolation. So when you say those transactions must run in the isolation, so you need to take care about that, how that isolation level can be maintained. Okay, and to maintain that particular isolation, every database goes with the what we can say, the locks and the unlocks. So that is what. So you can say there are the shared locks for the DMLs, there are the exclusive lock for the DMLs to take care about some kind of security. The permissions are granted. So that's how the security in the database is maintained. Right? So this is a normal scenario about the database. When you go and when you would like to access, okay, for example, I do have a use case. I do not want to move ahead with any of the database installation at my machine. I want to request the Amazon right now, create the Oracle database instance or at your end and just show me the instance or just provide me the instance for it. So what I'm going to do, I will ask the AWS to do the same. So Amazon is going to provide me the URL where I can access my database and play with it. So that is what the database on the cloud. Okay. So this is the database on the cloud. There are multiple databases which exist, and that's how I can take care about the database accessing over the cloud. So you can hire some AWS service and you can ask, okay, provide me this particular database instance. They can provide, and then we can move ahead. Okay. And then there is a big data, and it's retrieval by SQL or NoSQL. NoSQL named as not only SQL. So when you take care about why there is a term big data, because when you take care about the data which is there in the RDBMS, that particular data is a structured data, you can say. And when you take care about the big data, that particular data is totally unstructured data. So structured data can be there into the unstructured database, but unstructured data cannot be there into the structured database, right? So because of that particular thing only, you do require the specific database, like the MongoDB is there, which is the document oriented database. So that particular document support is going to be there in the NoSQL. NoSQL means not only SQL. That means to access the data from the database, SQL is not the only fundamental thing. I can access the data from the NoSQL as well. So now when you are dealing with the database, so you need to try to understand that how really the database takes care about the data, right? Really, the database takes care about the data communication. How really the durability of your data is maintained inside the database. How really the ER modeling is going to affect the design of the database. How really the normalization is going to improve or hamper the performance of the query or the transactions. So those are the things you need to, as an interviewer, if I'm looking at you, so I'm going to ask you such kind of question. Okay, just tell me that this particular given a case study, so you need to understand that case study, which kind of modeling do you require? So when you say which kind of modeling do you require, so you need to understand Is this case study is for the analytical purpose? Is this case study is for the transaction oriented purpose, or for what it is? Based on that particular thing, either you go for the OLAP modeling or you go for the ER modeling. So that is again there. Now, if you are really interested in doing the database administrator job, so at the fresher level, no one actually takes care about, handling the entire database to the fresher. So what you need to understand, you need to, if you are aiming yourself as a database administrator, first you need to understand the way the data is getting maintained. You need to be very good at the SQL, PL SQL programming. And if you are really good in the SQL, PL SQL programming, then and then only you can work as a database administrator. And believe me, it is a very nice job. Database administrator is really a kind of very much, you can say, respectable job, because database cannot move without the database administrator. Your systems can move without the database developers, but not without the database administrators. So those are the things what you need to take care about while moving towards the job role. So always run the SQL, PL SQL, whether you are the data modeler, database programmer, or the application developer, doesn't matter at all. You need to understand where exactly the SQL, PL SQL programming is moving, then only you can move ahead. Okay. And initially, if you would like to work as a database administrator, so first thing you need to understand that you are going to work as a customer support. Why the customer support? Because initially you need to take care about how really the queries are passing from one particular entities to other entity, you can say. You can work as a technical support database administrator, and then only we can move ahead. Okay. So the first thing what you need to understand, see the objective of the normalization. See the objective of the ER diagram. See the objective of the EF code rules. Those EF code rules are available on the Google. On the Google, if you just say the 12 rules of EF code, and try to see that what is the application level of each and every that particular rule, because that rule you need, those of the rules you need to understand. The reason behind that particular thing is because each database is working as using those rules only. Okay, so each database is working using those rules only. Then and then only we can move ahead. Okay, until unless we understand what are those rules, it is really tough to take care about that how the database is communicating with each and every entity. Right? Then we need to see, so those are the, so after the EF code rule, you need to understand how the database maintains the consistency, concurrency, because the consistency and concurrency, these are the words, they cannot go hand in hand. Concurrency means you are targeting multiple transactions at a time. Okay, when you say you are targeting multiple transactions at a time on the same object, so you must be aware of that true transactions cannot write on the same object at the same time. So consistency you need to compromise. So either you can go with the consistency or you can go with the concurrency. So consistency database cannot compromise at all. So how it maintains the concurrency, so it is going to cover that particular thing. So these things you need to take care about. What is the query oriented database? What is the transaction oriented database? So those are the things you need to take care about if you would like to become a database developer or the database administrator. Okay, all the participants. So how to join the database community if anyone asks you, or if you are having such kind of questions. So generally what I suggest while taking the different kind of trainings or any other things, first of the things are that do not try to search for each and every ER diagram example. Try to see, okay, real life use cases. If you would like to go for the telecom domain or travel industry domain, try to see how those domains are working, because when you move towards the the real life case studies, so they do not bother about how really my library management system works. They bother about, okay, this is the database. If I'm trying to create, how it is going to support my telecom domain, or how it is going to support my financial domain. So take a big domain and identify the entities into that particular domain. So this is a kind of use case, and set the small entities communication to understand the data communication. Now the next question could be from your side, that how I'm going to get the data for normalization. I do not understand. So there is a website, that data.gov.in. This particular website contains a quite the dirty data, you can say. Move ahead with this particular data to understand what exactly the first normal form, second normal form, third normal form is going to have. Practice with the various different kind of simple queries, joins, subqueries. Try to write the PL SQL or use the cursors, the exception, and then only you can move ahead for the the document oriented database.